Russia, the world's biggest country on the entire Earth for more than 300 years. The country's land area covers approximately 17.1 million square kilometers, which is about 11% of the world's total land area. Russia's territory spans across two continents, Europe and Asia. Now you would imagine that a country this big also has a large population. As of now, the estimated population of Russia is around 144 million people, making it the 9th most populous country in the world. The Russian population is not spread around the entire country. In fact, it's hard to believe that around 77% of Russians live west of this line, in a relatively small area that accounts for just a fraction of the country's total landmass. What is it about this part of Russia that has drawn so many people to it, while leaving the eastern regions relatively empty? There is a good reason behind all this, and funny enough, the Ural Mountains play an important role here. The Ural Mountains are not just a physical barrier between the western and eastern parts of Russia. They also mark the border between two continents, Europe and Asia. While the concept of Europe and Asia as distinct continents may seem arbitrary, it has a long history in geography and culture. The Ural Mountains stretch for over 2,000 kilometers from the Arctic Ocean to the northern border of Kazakhstan, creating a natural barrier between the two landmasses. The western slopes of the Ural Mountains are located in Europe, while the eastern slopes are in Asia. This division has shaped the history and identity of Russia. For many Russians, the Ural Mountains represent a symbolic border between the civilized and uncivilized parts of their country. The western part of Russia, with its cities, culture, and history, is often seen as more European and modern, while the eastern part is viewed as more remote and backward. The western part of Russia has been the most populated and wealthy region of the country for a long time. This is because the Russian Empire expanded towards the west, starting in the 16th century and continuing until the early 20th century. As Russia took over more territories towards the west, it also absorbed the people who lived there. This created a diverse and cosmopolitan society that centered around cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg. These cities were important for the development of Western Russia. Moscow was the political and cultural center of the empire, while St. Petersburg was a major port and industrial center. People from all over the country, as well as foreign traders and diplomats, flocked to these cities. This made the economy dynamic and vibrant, with a strong middle class and a thriving cultural scene. The impact of World War II and the Soviet era also played a significant role in the population patterns of Western Russia. During the war, millions of people were forced to leave their homes and many lost their lives. The Soviet government, led by Joseph Stalin, responded by relocating millions of people to the western regions of the country. This included not only ethnic Russians but also people from other parts of the Soviet Union, such as Ukrainians and Belarusians. However, the relocation policy had unintended consequences. Many people who were relocated resented being forced to leave their homes and communities. They found it hard to adapt to life in the unfamiliar and sometimes hostile environment of Western Russia. This caused tensions and conflicts between different ethnic groups, as well as a feeling of isolation and disappointment among some people in the East. As a result, more Russians continue to live in the West, as it remains the most populated and prosperous region of the country. The eastern part of Russia is known for its harsh and unforgiving climate. It is a low-populated region, with very few large cities or urban centers. The climate is characterized by long, bitterly cold winters, short and cool summers. In the winter, temperatures in some parts of eastern Russia can drop as low as -50 degrees Celsius or -58 degrees Fahrenheit, making it one of the coldest inhabited places on Earth. The summer months are brief and mild, with temperatures ranging from 10 to 20 degrees Celsius or 50 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The low temperature and bad living conditions in the region contribute to a generally inhospitable environment. These extreme weather conditions make it difficult for people to live and work in the region. Farming is almost impossible in many parts of eastern Russia, and transportation and infrastructure development are hampered by the harsh terrain and weather conditions.